My name is Alan Ivory, and I'm a Ph.D. student here at the University of Florida in the School of Forest, Fisheries, and Geomatic Sciences. And today, we're exploring animals in the sewer system. So this research was conducted about 2 years ago all across Alachua County, but after some recent publications have came out, it's gotten a lot of media attention, I thought it'd be nice to kind of show you all what animals were occurring here at University of Florida campus and where they were occurring at. So let's work our way over to one of the sewer pipes. So this spot in particular is one of our most diverse spots. We found everything from alligators, otters, possums, raccoons, deer. It really seemed as though each of these pipes kind of had its own little highway for certain animals. The raccoons kind of did their own thing. They were all over the place, but the wading birds, all of our egrets and ibis, those sorts of things, were having a lovely time catching fish as they were coming through these pipes. In most of my sewer pipes, we never saw birds enter the sewer system, but these birds would instead wait outside of these pipes for small fish or little crustaceans to kind of meander their way through the sewer pipe, and they would wait around and wait for the food. So most of our sewer cameras were mounted to manholes using a magnetic mount. So I would open the manhole up, place the magnetic camera underneath, and close it up and not check it for a little while. In this case, it's a concrete pipe where my magnetic cameras don't work. So instead, I would mount my camera on the nearest tree facing all three of these pipes so that I can look at what's coming through each of these pipes independently. So the way these cameras work, I probably should mention that as well. These cameras work off of motion sensor, but they also take in an element of temperature differences. And so whenever you have cold-blooded animals, things like your snakes, your frogs, that sort of thing, they don't get triggered by cameras as much. They rely upon more on the movement side of things. And so it'd be pretty often that we were overlooking like frogs that are in the sewer system, which is a really interesting thing because we have an invasive frog here in Florida called the Cuban tree frog. And if they're using these sewer pipes as a way of breeding, all the control that we want to do elsewhere might be null if they can just use these sewer pipes to breed in the masses. Is that good? Oh crap, the car's on top of the manhole. Good thing I'm not opening it. But just to show like how urban these animals are, there's a car quite literally on top of where I had this camera mounted. This is one of my favorite spots. We had a mother nursing its young at this spot. So we had a mother raccoon carrying its baby in its mouth, and then we could see it nursing there shortly afterwards. So the full gamut, Gamut? Thank you. The full gamut of behavior taking place in these sewer systems. Everything from foraging to moving without getting hit by cars to actually taking care of their young, all underground. So in my younger years, my grandfather had an underground utilities company, and so I've always grown up around the lingo of stormwater systems. But I was in my research age really looking at how animals move around. So whenever I married those two things together, my childhood of underground utilities and my research years of movement, I really came into this topic of urban wildlife movement, primarily looking at stormwater sewer systems. Just a few short steps into the woods here, and we're now at where these raccoons or other animals can enter the sewer pipes. There's this little sewer pipe here, and raccoons and other smaller mammals could easily climb into this pipe, and rather than having to go through all of the brush or deal with all of the cars above ground, they can use this pipe as a way of moving through the city, all without interacting with really anyone else or any obstructions. Interestingly, this manhole has a ladder inside, and so we would see raccoons enter from this pipe inlet, climb the ladder, and then exit via the curb inlet. Again, never deal with the cars themselves, just go directly from this forested environment through the pipe, climb the ladder, and boom, I'm out in the city. Just want to see if I can see eyes, you know? There's been other research done on raccoons feeding on bats, primarily in like the Poland, like some World War II bunkers and whatnot. And so there is some concern that the raccoons here could be feeding on our bats, although we have no documentation of this whatsoever. But we do see some competition taking place with alligators waiting at the mouths of one of these sewer pipes while raccoons are trying to enter as well. And again, we never saw any raccoons get eaten by the gators, but we definitely saw them go face to face. Somebody more responsible can have the keys. So we have the creek right here. It's via this pipe that an alligator swam in or crawled in, whatever you want to call it, and then works its way into this grate. There's only one way in, one way out. So once the alligator comes in, anything that's in this pipe is now just food for the alligator. So for today, I am showing you some sewer systems that are here on the University of Florida campus, but the overall research went everywhere from as far north as the city of Alachua, down into Micanopy and almost close into Marion County area. We had anywhere from 35 to 40 cameras just based on how many raccoons wanted to leave my cameras alone. The following study that kind of was built upon this study, we had to limit our sites down to about 30. I talked about that creek earlier. Here's this creek that goes underneath Gale Limerid. So we can see this creek here. So it's really interesting. We were in the heart of campus and you wouldn't really think that there was that much wildlife around. But again, like right here by Century Tower, and we're gonna go down to Little Hall, there was just a highway of these raccoons and other animals kind of moving through these sewer pipes. This one spot in particular is really interesting because multiple levels of pipes are at the same location. So at the deepest location, you would see the raccoons, and then the slightly above pipe, you would see these rats kind of navigating their level. In most instances, it's just a bunch of pipes merging together, but at this specific spot, it's layers of pipes that are all kind of interconnected vertically and like horizontally. If I remember correctly, I believe it's about 600 meters of pipe are all connected from this one location. I don't know the imperial units of that, I'm sorry. This is another example of where we have animals moving underneath our feet. We've shown you where the animals will enter the sewer pipe, typically near a pond, but this is directly underneath a walking path where there's a manhole, or in this case a grate, that allows animals to move underground pretty much freely away from human interaction. So rather than having all this foot traffic above ground, all this concrete, they take advantage of all the food that's below ground as well as the easy movement, this, again, path of least resistance. To avoid animals interacting with humans, an animal can travel from here all the way to here. So all this way without ever having to go above ground, these animals can traverse all across campus in these underground networks. So this is the end of the journey. We've learned a lot about how animals and humans can cohabitate in urban environments. That being said, more research can be done, and I'm happy to take part in that.